Hey, Easy. Oh, thank you. Just trying to be quiet because my daughter's sleeping. How are we today? Right. Just trying to put in the toes for the flippers, the rear flippers. So hopefully she doesn't wake up. How are we all today? Hello, YouTube. What the? What the what? It's not real. If that's what you're wondering. It's fake taxidermy. So don't stress. It is. It's a Stella sea lion. So I'm just doing the toes for it on the flippers. It's a commission piece, but thank you. Let me look at the face. So far. Yeah, I need to add the faux fur. I'm just trying to be quiet. I need to add the faux fur to the head, so I'll do all that once it's all been sewn together. Thanks. I made a leopard seal too. Same person bought it. So they wanted this one to go along with it. Alright. That's looking good. Okay. Just gonna tie it off. Hey, Mayor Wolf. How are you? How long I've been doing it? About 13 years now, so a while. Long time. That's good. Okay, so that's one toe. Hey, 0. It's a long time. Yeah, I've made my fair share of things. Definitely. Learned a thing or two, you could say. What am I doing? I am just doing the toes for the sea lion. So I'm basically fabric sculpting, as you can see. First toe, so there needs to be five toes. Yeah, it's a bit time consuming, but you know, is what it is. So I'm basically going back and forth to create the toe. Oh, no, that's not right. Thanks for the follow. Bruh. Thanks for the share. It's my Frank the Rabbit. Let's put Frank the Rabbit here. Oh, you can't quite see. Hang on. YouTube. There we go. Thanks for all the likes. So it's a bit time consuming, but you know, is what it is. Tie each row off so it sort of keeps the stitch pretty tight. Okay. And I doubt this is like the ideal way of doing it, but you know, we're here. So I think maybe 3 passes might be good. Three sort of passes on it. Well, I had another YouTube video go up today on how I made one of my medieval cats. So that's all 3 videos up now. That's cool. Hey, Jax. 1 a.m. Gee. Yeah, it's not the greatest time to stream for the other side of the world. But that's the only time I got. It's 1:15 in the afternoon here. You're the States, right? Quiet sculpting. Ooh. Quiet sculpting. All right, I think that's good. All right, tie it off. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like watching. Okay, I need to start a new piece of thread. Let's cut that off. Alright, so I've got 2 toes. Starting to take shape, right? Needs to be 5 on there, so hopefully I have enough room. I think that's too small. Alright, here's my thread. I know I dropped my thread yesterday and I didn't pick it up. Alright, so I'm using some Gutermann thread here, which is like a good quality thread that doesn't snap as easily as the cheaper threads. I find birch thread is quite cheap and snaps a lot. What do you mean a mini one? I do all different sizes. I don't normally do things this big. I don't actually like doing them this big, to be honest. How small? How small are we talking? One, two, three. Yeah, this'll do. A baby doll. Like, yay big? Madame Tippy Toes is actually quite small. I uploaded that video this morning. But yeah, that one's quite small. Something for beginners. I'm trying to think of something easy. I mean, it's kind of all the same process, really. I reckon probably one of my wolf ones would be easy. Wolves are quite, although they don't look simple, they're quite simple. I don't like where that's sitting. I'm gonna just undo that bit. You love wolves. Yeah, I mean, they've got a pretty, I wouldn't say simple head, but they're pretty simplest structure. Head to sculpt. I have heaps of wolf videos already. Actually, don't think I have sculpting a head though, to be honest. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've got another one coming. It's the demo guys, so I'll probably upload that next week. I mean, like the demo guys that I made a couple of months ago. So I'll do that whole video. It's mostly, I've done all the voiceover for it. I just got to edit the rest of it. Nice. Those D&Ds are so expensive. Whoa. Okay, this is the third. Can we call them fingers? Toes? What do you call them? Fingers and toes. Toes and fingers. Oh, you found cheap ones. Yeah, the paint is super expensive. You'd want to be good quality paint, right? Beans. Binge. What's the brand of the paint called? It'd be cool to make more action figures, like the Donnie Darko, Frank the Rabbit one. I actually quite enjoy modifying them, so maybe this one's just for a personal project, so it's nothing, it's not going to be for sale or anything. Floofy. Hey, thanks, Luigi. Here's the head. So far, I need to add the fur to it, so this is my Frank that I'm working on as well. So thanks. Normally I make fake taxidermy pieces, but this one's a commission piece actually. But yeah, pretty big on doing the fake taxidermy pieces. He's so cute. Thanks. So it's kind of like in the middle of a transition period of looking awful. Alright, so how are we looking here? I'll give this a trim when I've finished it, just in these little grooves. And then tie it off here. Normally I don't make them this big either. This one's a particularly large one. I'm actually working on really two big, large ones at the moment. So normally I make them, tabletop sized. But I made a leopard seal, which this commissioner bought and wanted the sea lion to go with it. So hence the size. Which one is this? This one's a Stella sea lion. So this is the commission piece. It's really chunky seal. So he wanted a male version, which is super chunky. All right, so thank you. So once I finish these two commissions, I can start focusing on making some more dolls. So that's exciting. Wolfie Thread Art Fun. Those AI captions are so weird. So weird and yet so everything's dramatic. So this is sort of something I do. I call it fabric sculpting. But it's a good way. I know teddy bear makers do this sort of. What part am I sewing up? So this is the back fin. So I'm just sewing in these little toes, and then I'll give the middle parts a tiny bit of a trim, so it brings out the detailing a bit more. So it's kind of like refining details, I guess, that we're doing here. Oops. So it's really just going back and forth with the thread to create like a little divot thing. And yeah, it creates like the structure of the toes, or the bone structure. You can go over it with a sewing machine. That's probably a faster option. But I don't really want to see the thread, so that's why I chose to do it this way. So it's a little bit more time consuming, but I think it's just a little bit more refined. Okay, so tie it off one more time, and then I might see what it looks like giving it a trim. I meant to go to my local craft store this morning, but I ran out of time to get some batting for the demo guys. But I ran out of time, which is fine. I can just use my polyfill to do the body. We'll see how we go. Anyway, so I've got some pet shears here. No problem. Probably fall asleep. So I'm just going to cut in just some tiny little grooves. It's been a long time since I stayed up till 1 a.m, I have to say. Oh, yeah. Willingly. Willingly. Alright, so it brings out the grooves a little bit more. Scissors. These are really good scissors, I have to say. They're pet shears, and they work marvelously. I can't believe I waited this long to buy a pair. I'm going to restart this live. Okay. Not the YouTube live, the TikTok, because it's not doing much. It's either one or the other with the lives. Sometimes YouTube doesn't do anything. Sometimes it does. All right. So the good thing about these pet shears is they have like this little rounded bit, which sort of you can drag it along. It's actually really handy. I thought it would get in the way, but it's actually really handy. It's looking good. What is this? Okay. So I'll do this with both sides. This isn't working that well. Okay, looking good, huh? Does it look like a real slipper? I'll have to airbrush these brown as well, like a really dark brown. So I'll be able to bring out some more detailing with that. Anyway. Looking pretty good. See how this is like a little bit covered by that pile, so let's just go in, cuts off. Beautiful. Welcome TikTok. We are doing some work on a couple of art dolls. So I'm going to finish this flipper, and then I'm going to do a little bit of a coat of paint on the shoes for Frank the Rabbit. So I want to try and get that done before Easter, which is only like a week away. So all I really need to do is dirty it up, and I don't really know what I'm going to do for shoelaces yet, but I wanted to do like realistic shoelaces just to make it a bit more realistic. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what to use. I don't think I have anything in my like jewelry stash that look like shoelaces. All right, this is looking pretty good. So we've got some flippers. So we did all of the little tippy toes. Looks pretty good. So it's just that little bit of detailing work that makes it a bit more realistic, I think. So once I've sewn this all together, I'm going to have to airbrush the flippers and the underbelly in like a darker brown, and like all over dark brown, but the top a bit more mottly. I might see if I add yellow, if it sort of turns out, because it's a bit dark. I'm not sure that the yellow is going to turn out well on this, but I'll try and do a little bit of mottling on it. And yeah, so I think I'm going to use some raw sienna to dirty this up, dirty the shoes up. Possibly. It needs to be watered down quite a bit. So I'm just going to leave the seal here. Yeah, we need a brush. Oh, there's one in there. Hang on. Super dirty one. I need new brushes. Right, these are all had it. Okay, so we're just gonna. So I sculpted these shoes out of epoxy sculpt. I was sort of in two minds on how to make it, but I decided to sculpt it out of epoxy sculpt. So you're really only going to see the tip when I do the faux fur. Hey, thanks for the share, much appreciated, and the likes. So yeah, I'm just going to dirty this up with some. It's burnt sienna, which I'm going to water down and just let it run in all the grooves. Just give it all over sort of dirtiness to it, because we don't want clean shoes here. We want it dirty because it is Frank the Rabbit, right? We want them sort of used. Bottoms don't really matter. Nobody cares about the bottoms. All right, so just dirty it up a little bit. And if you want to get rid of some of the paint, just put some more water on there and spread it around. And then you can also, if it's too much, swipe it off. But yeah, it's mainly the creases here that I wanted a little dirty. So just add a bit more in there. So I'll show you the difference. How well you can tell when they're actually just you can't tell. The lighting is horrendous. Anyway, that's the dirty one and that's the clean one. So I'm going to go and do that again. Put some just sort of everywhere, and then I'll water it down a bit more. So it's like a crime to make shoes dirty. Nice clean white shoes dirty. Thanks for the follow. Alright. A little bit on the bottom. So I'll leave that to dry before I do anything else. The next step on this is actually the fur. So that's going to be fun. Okay, that'll do. Leave that to dry. There we go. Let's put Frank. Let's put Frank just there, so we can all see. All right, now do the next tailor flipper. Now, have to very carefully flip it around. There's my pin. Just because it's such a big doll. So I'm going to move it up here so we can all see. Now I've already got some thread here, which helps kick it off. Sorry, just move my mouse. Okay. TikTok's not actually working very well today. Yesterday it was YouTube, now it's TikTok. Alright, so we need to do five flippers. So I'm going to start over here. About there, I reckon. A good thing is it flattens out quite a lot, so makes the flippers quite a bit bigger. So I'm sort of glad that I made them a bit smaller, because I think that would be too big. I have quite thin back flippers. Alright. So you just sort of have to be a little bit careful where I'm joining the ends, or the space, I should say. Space between it. Doll art magic. Wondering if I have to restart the TikTok again, actually. That's not doing anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Hey Zero, how are you? You've been summoned. You've been summoned by the cats. Oh, there you go. One more, I reckon. Now we just need to see that it's the right distance. I reckon one more. One more little stitch. Epic cat. Well, stay tuned for my upcoming series called, well, I'm sort of in two minds whether to call it derpy cats or action cats. I'm leaning towards action cats. That's going to be an interesting one. That one's going to be a challenge to do, I think, but that's what we like. That's what we like. Challenges, something different. But yeah, the idea is to do some dolls that cats are in the middle of doing something, so like licking or jumping, sneezing, that sort of thing. What am I making? I'm doing a Stella sea lion, so I'm just doing the little details on the flippers. So this one's a commission piece. So generally I make fake taxidermy pieces, so a little bit different. And normally I don't normally make them this big either, just big. The customer wanted it big, so it's just a bit difficult to handle while you're making it. But they're an interesting piece. Go. So I'm just going to do a couple of loops over the top just to create that little edge. Over the top. Cuteness. I mean, you can't really see the face, but it is big. It's in the middle of, it's in a stage where it doesn't look like anything like what it's supposed to. You love Madame Tippy Toes? Yeah, so do I. I don't know. I can't decide which one's my favourite. How can you? I mean, the butthole's a bonus, I guess. Let's say that one's my favourite characteristic. Alright, tie this up. Maybe I should do one more. I'll do one more pass up, actually. Otherwise I'm just going to waste a thread, so might as well do another pass. Get a little bit more refined. I don't know, what would you call these toes? Flipper toes? Flows? Just being a menace is a good characteristic. I feel like they're all menaces. They've all got that characteristic. Okay, that's the first toe. Next one, we're going to do 5 toes. So I'm just going to try and make sure they're in the right spot. But there. So we want one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so probably have to do 2 lots of thread on this as well. I've got a little bit of polyfill in here just to bulk out the toes. So just pull the thread quite tight, and I'm just going to tie it off. So I don't know if anyone's familiar with the Oddities Expo, but I applied to be a vendor. It's in November here. So I don't know if I've got a spot yet. They let you know within 45 days. So I'm sort of trying to come up with some ideas of what to make, really. Got a small little idea group of what I'm going to do. A restriction again. I'm going to have to restart this live because it's giving me a restriction. So annoying. Sorry, YouTube. I'm just going to have to put a content disclosure because it's really annoying and it gives me restrictions all the time. Okay. Sorry, YouTube. What was I talking about? Yes, I'm just trying to get some ideas of what to make. I think I'm going to make some bats because you can't actually sell bats, like live specimens, not live specimens, but specimens of bats. So I think if I do some fake ones, fake taxidermy, it would go well. He's hoping. So that's my sort of plan. Maybe a couple flying foxes. But yeah, a couple of different sorts of things, I think. All right, do a couple of passes of this one, I think. I'll tie that off. Yeah, and I wanted to do the mini skulls in the glass domes. So I want to do about 5 of them, which I don't know if that's ambitious. I'd probably have to start sculpting stuff now for it. I didn't even know if I'm going to get it in though. So like, what if I sculpt everything and make everything and it doesn't, I don't get a vendor spot. Well, I should know within 45 days, so it's not too bad, I guess. So I've only done one expo before and I didn't like it at all. So hopefully it'll be a bit better this time. It's a different crowd. I think the last one was the wrong crowd. It was just too young to understand, I think. So it was a convention, but I think the crowd was just too young to understand what's going on, to put it bluntly. That'll be interesting. Hopefully I get a spot. You never know. Thanks for the share. All right, that's 2 toes. We're getting there, see? We're getting there. What you doing here, Stephen Bavia? What's the time? Oh. Almost finished your lunch. Yep. You love taxidermy. Oh. How do you control the bugs? And what pieces do you have? That's why I sort of don't tend to use any animal products, is the bugs are crazy. They'll just go after everything. You have a few pelts and tails. Are they stored in like a glass cabinet or something? They're so expensive. Like obviously a full mount. A full mount is expensive. And a puffer fish. Like even some of my feather stash that I have, Jim. Yeah, the feather stash. Like it's just in a box in plastic bags, right? But the bugs, man, I had to chuck most of it out. So that's why I just stopped using it for any part of my dolls. Mites? Are they mites? Can I request a song? Can you hear the music? Yeah, right. I know the museum here had a taxidermy display, and it'd been there for a few, years. But yeah, they just had such a problem with bugs that they got rid of the display, and there's no more taxidermy. Well, there's like a small handful, manageable one, but yeah, they just had such a problem with bugs, and just like the damage to the mounts. Your cats eat them. Well, that's good. One of my previous cats, she used to eat, I don't know if you've got silverfish where you are, but it's like a delicacy. She would find them out. I don't know how. And sniff them out, and silverfish eat like fabrics and stuff. Hey, Em, how are you? They eat all like silk, all that natural sort of fabric. All right, that's that one. I've got one more stitch with this. And that's both these flippers done. Oh, itchy. All right. Love the doll. Which one? Let's finish this flipper. I've got to do the front flippers too, but that can wait. And then maybe I can start pinning some fabric on Frank, because I do want to get that finished before Easter, which is like a week away. Crunchy. Actually, soft and squishy. Actually quite soft, silverfish. It's like a mousse. That's gross. A pate. It's more of a pate. Thanks for the likes. Silverfish pate. What are we talking about? Yeah, the fabric for Frank. Okay. I did a couple of experiments with different types of fabrics while dyeing a certain fabric because it was too bloody green. And I ordered grey fabric, but it came and it was green. So the dyeing didn't work. It turned it purple. So when my cat has a liver thing, he has to get fancy stuff. Yeah, my cat gets fancy stuff too. Food's like more expensive than our food. They are all big babies, aren't they? Spoilt brats. Spoilt brat cats. Yeah, that's what the medieval cats were, sort of. That was the whole vibe with them. Oops. Spoilt brat cats. I've got another little stop motion that I'll post tomorrow, probably, of it. Spoilt brat cats. Oh, what happened there? Oh, well. You can't live your life without a cat. So I had some questions if I was going to make medieval dogs too. I'm not really a dog person. Like, I like dogs, but I'm not a dog person. I don't know enough to be comfortable having one. I don't fully trust them because they're dogs. But I might. Definitely. You gotta include the dog people, right? There's some pretty funny medieval dogs. Can't segregate the dog people. They just don't have the same, it's not the same humour as cats though. Like, cats are just by far the superior pet. Is that controversial? What's my favourite animal? It's a really basic animal, but I've really liked it since I was a kid. It's a tiger. It's really basic. But I just like tigers since I was a kid. I'm basic. Yeah, ever since I was a kid, I can't shake it. I just like tigers. But there's a lot of animals that I do like. Like, a shoebill's pretty cool. I like wolverines too. You like ducks? I like ducks. I always wanted a duck when I was a kid. Just totally not practical, but I always wanted a duck. I never got a duck. I probably never will have a duck. I like ducks though, they're pretty cute. They're high on my like list. Alright, that's another paw. Yay. You have 3 ducks. You're lucky. Are they runner ducks? Okay, let's do a little bit of I think birds are just a lot of work in general. My least favourite animal? A pigeon. I mean, I like them all, but man, pigeons are kind of annoying. But I kind of feel bad, because they can't help it. They can't help it that they're ning-nongs. I don't dislike any animal though. But sometimes pigeons are bloody annoying. What am I making? I am doing a Stella sea lion. So I make art dolls basically. So I can show you the head. It's a big doll. So it's kind of like 70% done. I have to add all the fur to the head and everything, but I'm just sort of refining the flippers. So I need to do basically the toes, but normally is another example. I'm working on a chameleon as well. So I've got to do all the sewing for the legs. So I pinned everything together. Need to trim it all. And yeah, this is a little chameleon that I'm working on so far. A nice bright, nice vibrant one. But yeah, this is a commission piece, so I have to sort of concentrate on I've got 2 commission pieces on the go, so I have to sort of concentrate on that first before I do my own things. And I want to finish Frank as well before Easter. That's supposed to be my silly Easter doll, as opposed to a cute bunny. Oh, thank you. It's just a lot of years of practice, I'll put it down to. So I got some pet shears to trim this, and they're fantastic. I can't believe I didn't have pet shears 10 years ago. What was your first doll? Funnily enough, a tiger. Yeah, the art dolls that I made at the start don't look anything like what they do now. So they were more of like a teddy bear type plush with the sculpted face. So it was a white tiger with orange stripes, and I really think I should remake that. 13 years later. But yeah, I still have it. It's awful. It doesn't have an armature in it. But everyone's got to start somewhere. All you know how to do is draw. Well, that's good. I wouldn't consider myself the best drawer. I'm a sculptor, not a drawer. But I dabble in it. I'm a dabbler. But I like sculpting. Sculpting's my jam. And I like animals too, so this is a nice happy medium with doing something with animals. It's always nice to make realistic animals. Can we see? Yeah, I'll get it for you. It is not a good doll, by the way. So, whoop, hang on, where are we going here? So that's the face. That's the face. That's my first one. I mean, I like the face, but yeah, body's a bit of flop. Body's floppy. That's what I used to do back in the day. But look, I like the face. It was meant to be like a fantasy type tiger, but yeah, it's just floppy and floppy and not great, but that's the first one. But, you know, obviously developed a lot over the years. All right, so they're the flippers. Beautiful. They look realistic, don't they? Yeah. Just gonna move that around a little bit. So these all need to be airbrushed, like a dark brown. And so I didn't go with a fully dark brown back here because the top of it is sort of lighter and a bit mottly. That looks like I would see it out of Alice in Wonderland. Cheshire Cat, I guess. I've never made a Cheshire Cat. Looks like a fun little project. All right. So, this is a big one. This is a big boy. Big boy with a big head. So I'm going to cover the head with this fabric. Give it all over trim. I should say this fur. Give it a trim, and then I have to do the sculpting on these as well. But yeah, so I reckon this is like 80% done. The airbrushing is, I reckon the airbrushing is going to take a while because there's a lot of colour and mottling in it. You know, the ends of the flippers are sort of black that fade into like a dark black, so it's going to have to be like multiple layers of thing. The black will be the last thing that I do. But yeah, so that's my sea lion. So, Frank. Now I should get I'll get another doll for an example. This is also another one that I'm working on. It's a lion so far, so I'm going to be doing 2 lions. So this will be a male lion. Obviously I haven't done the mane. That'll be fabric, but the female lion is going to be more spicy. So yeah. Let's get our cougar as a let's get our cougar as just a little example. Oh, messed up the post. I was doing a stop motion with this, so there we go. So this is what I make, basically. I'm just doing a whole lot of different things at the moment, but yeah, basically this is what I make. Fake taxidermy. All right, so in terms of Frank, little pieces. Surely I've got some loose pieces here. One. I feel like a macaw would be really cool. It would be really cool. It'd be a lot of work, but not the Darko rabbit. That's it. We're doing it. We're doing it. Frank. So this is the fabric that I'm going to be using, but I'm going to trim it. And then I've got the same in white. Man, I need to do some serious cleaning. Organising here. All right, this might be good for an arm. So I'm going to start off with the torso piece. I'm actually just going to get a quick little reference image because we need reference images. Rank the rabbit. Let's see. It's actually really hard to find a full body shot of Frank, to be honest. But needs to be kind of baggy. So we need to start off with the torso piece first. So this particular faux fur is called Mongolian faux fur, and you can tell because it's kind of clumped together and it's shaggy. It's a really nice, it's one of my favourite furs to work with. Whoops. I lost the YouTube. Yeah, it's one of my favourite furs to work with. I've done a lot of dolls with this particular fur. So that's a little tip. I'm trying to find, there we go, full body image. That's it. So this is, yeah, kind of baggy. So I'm in two minds whether to just do a full body suit on a sewing machine and slip it on, which I don't think so. Are there any faux furs that are actually soft? Yes. Trying to find this smaller piece. So this particular fur that I've used on, I use this fur for my leopard doll, and it's probably one of the softest furs that I have come across, but it's really difficult to use because I normally use pet shears to cut my fur. This won't cut it. It really struggles cutting it. For some reason, it's like really, it just gets caught in the blades and it just doesn't cut it. So my workaround is using the pet shears, and it cuts it really well. But you have to do it by hand, which isn't really ideal. But yeah, this is sort of like a woven backing on it, and yeah, it's super, super soft. So, but awful to work with. I hate it, but it's soft. You have to remember that. All right, now with working with fur, we need to follow the pile directions. So let's find an end here. Now the pile is going, so we'll put him down for a second. Pile is going down this way. So what I'm going to do is lay him on. Now I want this baggy, right? Arms out. Whoop, came off. Luckily you can change hands. So it just literally pops back on and off. You can have these custom action figure things that actually have changeable hands, so you can have like different grips on them. But okay, I'm going to put the seam line down the front because the front has the white patch, so it won't matter if the seam line is down the front. But yeah, so we want it baggy. So probably about that, I reckon. A little bit conformed. All right. So I'm just going to cut that. Oh yeah, I forgot to empty my bloody camera card yesterday, so that's a bit of a poo. All right, so I want just a torso piece actually, probably there, and I will sew the legs on separately. So I reckon we're going to cut just here. I'm using the same dealio as what I do with my art dolls. Okay. So when I cut faux fur, sometimes the pile comes off, so I just clean it up as I go. Otherwise, you're left with this floating around. Yes, it is Donnie Darko. I'm making it. second coming of Frank. It's like, woo. Yeah, I've always wanted to make it, so we're making it. We're making it for Easter. Hey, thanks for the follow. We're making it for Easter. We're doing it. It's going to be my Easter bunny. My Easter bunny. Let's chuck that. All right. So I sculpted this piece out of polymer clay, which was a total pain in the ass. I attached it to the neck piece with some epoxy sculpt, which this is going to be covered in fur anyway, so no biggie. All right, so now for this one, I'm going to cut some armholes. I reckon I might just cut the armhole and slip it through, to be honest, rather than normally I cut. It's just going to be like a vest. Normally I cut like the whole thing and wrap it around, so it's I can conform it a bit better, but this one we don't need to do that because we want it a little bit baggy. It's clothing, not skin, so that's what we're going to do. So it's like I feel like I'm playing dress up here. All right, let's do a little bit bigger, and I might just do like a little cross pattern. Faux frenzy. Little cross pattern. All right, vest me up. All right, vest me up, Frank. So, no, I don't want it to be too baggy, but I don't want it to be too loose either. So, I'm just going to pin it all together and see where we sit. He died for our international eggs. Well, this is my take on the Easter Bunny. All right, now. Oh. Now. Totally missed that bit there. Interdimensional, yes, exactly. I can't help but think interdimensional TV now. I don't like where this is sitting, so I'm just going to redo that. Yeah, I'm going to trim all of this too, so it's not going to be this long. It's not meant to be this long. So I'll just fix this up. Alright. I have to film it on this, actually. Alright. Yeah. It stands alright too, I think. Now, I'm going to do the neck separately. So, how does the head go? So we're going to have to trim it under here so it sort of conforms like that. Yo. So what I'm going to do, so I'm just experimenting with this one. I'm going to trim this a little bit. here. Because I'm going to do the hood separately. Oh, now that battery's flat. Oh man, I can't win. Just trying to be careful not to slam it down on the bench and break the ears, because that's not great. I'm just going to do my photo card now so I don't forget. It's a full card, so I have to import all my stuff and video. Right. Get rid of that pile. So I might if I sew that front bit and then trim that, I think that's the best way. I'm just winging this here, so so we want it to go down here. So get rid of that. And then pin this last bit here. Cat, dog, bird, frog. Whoops. Up there. All right. Then need that. Bring that over here. That has to be joined. So we can sew that together maybe. Like so. And that side. Yes, I think that's what we're going to do. All right. So I'm going to sew the front bit. What happened with this one? Is this flat? I think so. What happened to my music? Just trim that up a little bit. I reckon I could get some pretty cool stop motions with this, hopefully. I don't know. Let's experiment. No, what happened to my music? All right, so I'm just gonna tie this, pull it out, tie it off here. Me reckons. So once this is all sewn up, I'll give it a trim with my shears, and then I'll sew the white part on. Oh, of course it did. Everything dropped out, so that's cool. All right, so just want a loose body here, so I'm not doing what I normally do and conforming it. So I reckon tomorrow I'll try and focus on doing the demo guys. At least get the body done. And maybe some of the sewing. Because I want to do it in like one big stretch. Yeah. Excellent adventure. Okay. So I'm using a ladder stitch to close the seam up, and that basically is like it folds the edges over on itself and closes it, you know. It's supposed to be kind of like a seamless stitch. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. Get the pin out. So this isn't exactly the right fabric that I wanted to use, but you know, it's pretty close. Yeah, the fabric that I bought was green. It looked way green. Hey Hina, how are you? So I'm just combing the pile out as I go along. As I go along. Not bad, not too bad. We had a Pokemon card release this morning, and that was chaos, utter chaos. So a bit drained from that one. Waste of time. If anyone did the Pokemon cards, you know how it is at the moment. Terrible. Anyway. What kind of dolls you making? So I'm doing Frank from Donnie Darko, but normally I do fake taxidermy pieces. So I just finished doing some refining on a Stella Sea Lion commission, but I didn't want to start doing something else on that because I didn't really have enough time. So I'm just going to do like little bits and pieces on this one. I like to sort of do things where I'm going to finish it. So if I'm not going to finish it, the section that is, yes, it is Adidas. Adidas is my choice of clothing to wear. Big fan. Certain clothes, they need to have funky little patterns. I like my patterns, so they need to have some patterning on them. They need to be exciting. All right, so I'm just going to leave that thread there. You never know when that thread may come in handy. All right, so this is the first bit of it. So I don't want to glue that because I think that's going to restrict a lot of movement. So I reckon if I sew that, it'll pull it back. So it won't be such a problemo. So what I'm going to do is pin that one. Pin that pin, and that'll have to come off here. So it's not such a sack. So probably just come off about here. Does need to be baggy, but yes. This will be trimmed, by the way. It's a rabbit with Adidas. This is Frank from Donnie Darko, and the shoes that he wears in the movie are actually Adidas. But once I do the body, you really only see this bit. But I just add that in there just for lols, you know, just for that little bit of detail. But you really only see that amount of shoe, really. So it's probably a waste of time, but you know, you got to add the detail. Okay, so I'm just going to carefully put it down and just give this bit of trim. There. Now, okay, and then that's going to be sewn. It's time to look. So that pushes that back and solves that problem where that goes forward. So I'll sew that back, and then when I do the head, the head's going to have to be glued and then stitched on around here, so it covers it. Now this will have to be stitched in the middle here as well. So I'm going to put a pin in that. If I can get it in there. Okay, that's going to be stitched there, and then I'll add the legs. I'll give this a trim first before I sew anything else on. Then I'll add the legs, the arms. The hands are going to be a different story because I don't 100% sure how I'm going to do that. I think the best thing to do is possibly cover that in epoxy sculpt and add the fur on top of it, because it's supposed to be like a glove, but I can't really make a glove. So I'm just going to have to, that's future Nat problem. All right, so that's so far. It's coming. It's looking good. I like it. I like it. All right, tomorrow I'm going to have to end live, but tomorrow I'm going to do some work on probably the demo guys, because that is also commissioned and I want to get more progress on that. If I have time, I'll do some more stitching on Frank. We'll see how we go. Anyway, I'll be on from about 12:30ish. So YouTube, thanks for joining. I'll catch you.